Blade Trinity is a film that has many problems, and it's certainly the worst out of the three. With a poorly written script and a story that doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you look at it, this film is not that great. When a group of vampires uncover Dracula in the Syrian desert, then Dracula's mission is to wipe out all humans off the planet because he sees them as weak creatures. Meanwhile, Blade is framed for a murder in the beginning of the film, and he's ultimately captured by FBI agents. But he's saved by two new characters in Hannibal King, played by Ryan Reynolds, and Abigail Wessler, played by Jessica Biel. I have to say, this movie's pretty bad. I mean, everything is a hit. I mean, it's a miss here. The comedy aspect of the film is not even funny. I felt like every other movie, Ryan Reynolds is typecast as Van Wilder. I see his character in all these movies and he tries to be funny, and sometimes that humor doesn't land. And that's the case in this movie. Did we really need a character cracking jokes every couple of minutes in this film? I mean, it makes sense if it was funny, but this wasn't funny at all. And I had a big problem with Hannibal King. He's not a horrible character, he's just not that great. You also have other characters such as, Triple H's bodyguard, or should I say, the character Triple H is played actually has a name, Draco Greenwood, but my problem is Triple H was never that great of an actor. He's okay in this film here. It's just that he was really brought in for muscle, I have to believe. Especially towards the end when he takes on Hannibal King in that fight. One thing I have to admit, the action in this film is pretty good though. But another issue I have with this movie is they killed off Wesker, Blade's mentor beginning of the film, and it's so damn cheesy, and it was definitely not necessary. This film has a lot of issues. But I still like this movie, despite all that. Now, it's a movie so bad that you like it kind of film. And despite what the flaws this film has, I try not to hate on this movie that much, really. Apparently, Wesley Snipes was difficult to work with on the production of this movie, as cases where he was staying in his trailer for a majority of the time, would interact with the co-workers, and he demanded to be called Blade. Then I can see why this movie suffered for it. In the role of Blade, Wesley Snipes really doesn't give it his all. I mean, he's still good in the role, don't get me wrong. It's a downgrade to what the first two movies were. And the fact that I thoroughly believe Wesley Snipes didn't want to be there. I mean, look at the film, and you could tell his mannerisms. There's even one scene in particular where it looks like he's straight up angry. And I have to really say that had to do more than the scene here. Maybe Wesley Snipes didn't like doing this movie that much. But despite all that, everything else about this film just screams bad. From the acting of Dracula, who wasn't even that great of a villain. He's pretty generic here. Nothing interesting, but he does put up a fight at the end of the film. And I also forgot that he made a vampire cure which wipes out a majority of vampires by the end of the film. And basically, it's like it's the end of the trilogy here. Now, overall, this movie has its problems, but I still like this film nonetheless. I mean, it's not great, but it's kind of a popcorn feeling type of movie, where you can just sit down and just enjoy the film. It's not a great movie at all. It's pretty bad, but it's not as horrible as other movies out there. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give this film a 6. Now, generally, I probably will rate this movie lower, but then I remember I still like this movie on some level. Maybe it's because it was the final installment of the Blade trilogy. And while it's a bad film, I don't completely hate this movie though, no. But I think it has its large list of problems that plagued the production of this film, from Wesley Snipes' troubles that he had with the movie to the bad acting in some parts, especially acting of Ryan Reynolds. Don't get me wrong, Ryan Reynolds is a good actor, but he's always been typecast since Van Wilder. And that's the case in this movie. I mean, say what you will, some people probably hate this movie, but there, like I said, there's worse movies out there, and I can still watch this movie every once in a while and still have a good time. Is this a great film? No, it's horrible, but it's not a horrible ending to the franchise, I have to believe. And that's my review of Blade Trinity. Leave a comment section below. Let me know what you think about this film. Do you despise this movie, or are you in the middle ground like I am? You know, this film could end on better terms. I generally wish it was a lot better than what this movie turned out to be. Between Wesley Snipes' issues he had on set with everyone on this film, to the sometimes terrible acting of this film, then I probably would say I wouldn't recommend this movie unless you're really like a diehard fan of the Blade franchise. But you know, even if you're not a fan of this film, then you generally gotta admit the action's pretty good. Alright, this is Slum Guy 172 saying peace out.